Hey guys, Crowangel Gaming here, bringing you the latest mods for Fallout 4 on the PlayStation 4. Just a quick shout out before I get started, just to say hey to Z14, who has been commenting on my videos as of late. Just to give you an official acknowledgement, this guy is also setting up his own Fallout 4 channel as well, so if you guys want to go and check it out, then I'll leave that completely up to you. Also, a comment that he brought up in that he had a problem with me calling it a mods review channel. Basically, as I've commented on that thing, I actually call it a mods review mostly because I review the mods that are currently out on the latest editions, and then when I do the off weeks where I cover, say, the armor, the audio, I'm basically reviewing these mods so you guys don't have to. So by definition, I class that as a review. There's no like ill feeling between like myself and Z14. I'm trying to clear that up for anybody else who had an issue with it being called like a review. Eventually in the future, when I'm not covering so much stuff, if that ever happens, I'm hoping to do something that you might expect to see on channels like MXR, where I go through each of the mods and then say I come to this one, which is thicket executions, should I say, and then say that is a mod I wanted to cover. I would, whilst I'm paused on this, I would bring it up like normal, and then I would take you to that mod. So basically, I am aiming to improve things on the channel, but for now I'm just looking to get a video out to you each and every week, because with all the other stuff I'm trying to upload and put the gameplay together for, including Ghost Recon, Wildlands, GTA 5 and GTA Online, Dragon Age Inquisition, Skyrim Remastered, you name it, the list goes on and on and on, and I'm already considering adding Metal Gear Solid 5 as well as a single gameplay run through, just so I can upload it to the channel and have it for future reference if you ever want to look back and see like me on computer gameplay. Anyway, following this video I'll be doing the Skyrim mods remastered as well, and then I'll be doing the standard every Friday gameplay uploads for Dragon Age Inquisition, Fallout 4 modded gameplay, and for Ghost Recon Wildlands, which I've now added to my Tuesday and Fridays. For anyone who is new to the channel, welcome, and just to let you know, if you haven't already seen it on the description for the channel, I do upload gameplay now every Tuesdays. This will be for Fallout, Dragon Age and Wildlands. I'll be adding to that in the coming weeks. Mid-August I'll be adding to it the Agents of Mayhem, which if anyone likes the Saints Row games, it's from the same makers, and basically it's the unofficial Saints Row 5 game, but just under like a different name. Anyway, I've yammered on for long enough, and I'll get you now straight into the latest mods. So here we go. Hints of Immersion. Requires the DLC for Automatron Wasteland Workshop, Far Harbor, Contractions Workshop, Vault-Tec Workshop, Nuka World. Basically, this mod adds a few immersive and unique items to existing areas of the game that he felt were empty and unrewarding. The following items include various food, chems, weapons, armor, and settlement objects. He's also adding more spawn points for enemies, as well as new machines, features, re-examine the world for fun, new loot, and enjoy. Next one is the Thicket Executions Settlement Quest. Gives a short quest, like 5 to 10 minutes, that gives you ownership of the settlement. Defeat Thick. Gets... Oh, I just realised where this is. Settlement. Yeah, it's one of the quarries. Get his special weapon, the Thickway rifle. God, this is going to be a tongue twister. Also gain a new perk that pairs with this rifle. Find all 3 notes to get a bit of story, as well as a mention of a new character in Op Salvo Carter mission, Mason, Jesus. Right, moving on to the next one. Second Brahmin starts at Starlight Drive. Requires the DLC just for Far Harbor. A second Brahmin with items like Yao Brahmin and Stingwing meat for traps, building supplies, caps, pre-war money, ammo. If you are looking for something that just gives you all the meats you'll need for your traps, as much as I don't want to diss anybody else's mods, but there is a vendor mod that you can actually get who will basically actually sell you every possible meat that you need for pretty much any trap that's out there. Sleeping bag in Concord Museum. A simple mod to add a sleeping bag in the Museum of Freedom. It can be found in the room where you meet Preston for the first time. Great if you're playing on survival to save before the raider fight. Auto closing doors and gates by MCCX99. Settlers and companions have no problem opening doors, but seem to never close them. Dogmeat is especially notorious for opening doors and leaving them open. This mod adds some auto-closing doors and gates to the workshop menu. The names are prefixed with AC for auto-close, like AC paint door, AC junk wall gate, etc. Most of the doors that this mod adds to the menu have existing snap points, so they snap into door openings like other workshop doors. So basically, if you want your doors to shut behind you, or behind the other followers, then this one's for you. Good for if you're on creating mode and you want to get it a bit more realistic. UCO, base game core components of unlocked settlement objects. Okay, this guy's got quite a lot of settlement mods, so if you do want to check out a lot of more of his work, it's for Andrew WCX. He has got quite a lot of stuff, as mentioned before. There is several different bot mods which he does have on the Bethesda mods at the moment. Unlock Settlement Objects is a basic settlement build mod that seek to add all available in-game assets for settlement building. It is primarily developed for the PlayStation 4, where Sony has placed a significant number of restrictions on mods that block most similar mods from being made available, but has made available for Xbox One PC for users seeking the small file size that mods built within these restrictions have. It primarily focuses on adding in-game items that are not part of the workshop mode into the mode, as well as a limited amount of reskin for items using in-game textures. Okay. Remodel edge disc. I'm not going to try that because I don't understand French, unfortunately. Bolt 88 restored lighting, rad scanners and turrets. You can see there a lot of stuff that you'd get inside the bolts. Requires for Vault-Tec Workshop. In Bolt 88, where you first start the quest, in normal lighting, rad scanners and added turrets are disabled. Once the lockdown is disabled, there are many non-functioning lights and rad scanners. He has restored working Vault lights and added a few of these lights, rad scanners and added turrets turn on after the lockdown and low power mode is over. No unnecessary edits, but there are 15 of the pre-combined meshes were overridden and more light sources. You might get a small frames per second drop. He did notice a similar drop using workshop placed items to restore the same area. May conflict with the Vault 88 cell edits. Place this after the other cell edits, otherwise some of the lightings will flicker on and be off, and so forth. Dr. Mobius's player home. Update note, had to update a couple of containers on the shelf section with the lockers and safe and ammo boxes. I recommend clearing the containers, specifically the safes and lockers on that shelf before updating, just to be safe. So in other words, if you've got stuff stored in them, take them out before you update, because you will lose them, as I've mentioned before with other player homes, both on this and in Skyrim. If the mod author ever updates the mod, you will lose your stuff. It's not a might, you will lose your stuff. Made by request, he made this non-cheat version of the cheat mod Dr. Mobius Infinite Stash to be used as a player home. Please do not install both at once. He doesn't know why you would, but prefer wouldn't end well anyway. Here you go. Starlight Brahmin resupplies alien super weapons at Vault 111. Excuse me. Requires a DLC for Nuke World. He wanted to put a few more Fury grenades in the game. They are in a Brahmin wandering nearby, who has also leather cloaking right leg armor. Inside the wooden crates, you should find 2 alien weapons and a powerful minigun that might respawn. Search around the 2 crates nearest the Brahmin and the elevator to find the 3 weapons. They are on the ground near the crates. Update if not in the crates, then all weapons are in the Brahmin. Excuse me. YKR mod, PlayStation 4. The group that made it appear in the game live video were placed near the Vault 111 exit, and a box filled with prototype weapons will appear in Vault 111 exit. Okay. GQ Farmer anywhere with fertilizer. Removes restriction that crop requires dirt. Good mod. Theoretically, they can now be planted almost anywhere, so it's up to the player to not abuse this feature. Adds requirements to plant 1 fertilizer, 1 purified water. Fertilizer recipes, cooking and utility. Fungus can now be grown with fertilizer irradiated. Wild crops can be planted as domestic crops with fertilizer detoxified. Okay. Damage overdose, PlayStation 4. This mod will change some of the perks in the game and increase mostly your damage output, and the power armor piece's health does not require any DLC. As of the 24th of April 2017, updates, new ammo craft system, gunpowder added. Caffeinateds last much longer. Vendors have more items to buy, so you can get more materials to craft. More to come. If at least one interested, please be that one. Okay. Create NPC battles. Just like his first mod he created, you go to Chemistry Station. There are 2 sections, one for blue team and red team. Then craft the NPCs you want to fight. They will in miscellaneous on the Pip-Boy drop. They're one by one to your liking. If there is a problem with this mod, please let him know, and he's updated it for things, so you get more details that way. Immersive pre-war location. Realistic lighting as best he could with paper thin walls and this game engine. And Voltec van no longer blocking the road and your driveway. It is best for a newly started character. Okay. Unfortunately, though, you only get the pre-war settlement for about 5 minutes, and then you're done. But never mind. Power armor repair kits. Has your power armor ever taken a beating in a dungeon only to come up to the station without the right components? Well, no longer. This mod introduces craftable scrap packs that have just the right amount of components for repairing your power armor in a pinch. Dial 999-4137 just to purchase. Okay. The world is dying. Okay, this is an old mod that is updated, so if you don't know, when a mod is updated, more often than not they will appear in the latest section. This basically is a extension on the survival mods. I won't go through all of the facts because I have gone over it before in past videos, quite a few times in fact. Basically, you have to start a new game for the change to take effect. This mod incorporates his mods for Fulgore's new settings: Curse of Darkness, Normal Edition, Blessed of Darkness, and Ammo Gold. Ammo is gold. So if you're using a lot of them, you can uninstall. You can also use other mods too, which change a lot of things in terms of survival aspects of Fallout. The main changes that you can get is, in terms of XP, you will receive 25% of the normal experience, carry weight, hardcore. In survival mode and with 5 strength, for example, you can carry 75 carry weight. Perks, he removed the level requirement of perks. He also played Fallout 300 times, so I don't want to level up to level X and to start playing his normal build. Nerf to remove some perks. Purified water is super rare and very expensive. Only purifiers give purified water, the rest give radded water. Food, you aren't a farmer, so you can't pick up crops, only the wild ones. Food gives a lot of rads and doesn't heal. It's not a potion. Animals have 75% of dropping nothing. Okay, and there's a whole lot of other stuff. Like I said, if you are interested in this one, it has been mentioned quite a few times in one of the past videos. More Assaultron for PlayStation 4. Unfortunately, no coding for it, no real description. Hanging Heights Settlement mod. Looks like a custom built one. Hello people, Grub again. This mod will be released in two forms. This one where you can build most of the settlement yourself, and later will be released as another mod where I will have built most of it for the much bigger story to follow. I added some cleaner water, got rid of the fog and lights, so you don't have to rewire so much after uploads. More lighting later. A new elevator has been added behind the house at the entrance, takes you to the top level, and that's basically it. Okay, another player settlement. More unique weapons. Marksman's Dream is now spawning, but it does not have the correct name and is just taking the normal name of a combat rifle. I apologise for work on fixing this. The mod adds 11 new unique weapons to go into the wasteland. Right, I'm going to stop right here. If you are after legendary weapons and you don't want to have 20 mods added to your system just to add different legendary weapons, there is a mod on my current playthrough that I'm actually doing. It's legendary modifications. It basically gives you every modification you're ever likely to come across on any legendary weapon or armor, and it allows you to create it yourself. If you add to that the perk locker, but choose your own perks, this basically will give you every possible perk you can. Some of them unlock later as you level up, depending on if they were level specific. So if you try to unlock something that's a level 14 perk, it won't initialize until you hit that particular level, but you'll still feel the benefits of it most often than not. This will allow you then to craft all the stuff that you want to craft up to the highest possible tier. This also includes the buttressed leg armor as well, if you like to have the big heavy boots with the raider boots as well. Like I said, so yeah, if you don't want to make your own, the two mods I will recommend instead is perk locker, which is choose your own mod, choose your own perks, and legendary modifications, which basically you can craft any legendary you ever want. Anyway, workbench anywhere. If you like the mod, please rate it up. Blah blah blah. Okay, workbench anywhere is a simple mod that allows you to summon a settlement mode workbench in any location. It's created this mod since so many people were asking about. However, due to limitations of PlayStation 4 mods and Sony, it is extremely limited in what you can do. So basically, don't expect to change the landscape or anything like that. You can probably just pick up all the stuff that is in a certain area. One thing I have seen of similar mods like this, once you do craft the spawn beacon in the chemistry station, as you can see on the description down there, and then once you chuck the grenade to have the workshop bench spawn, it's then locked in position. You won't be able to go into craft mode like you can on some others and move it to like a different location. You will permanently have that workbench in that area then, so just choose wisely. UCO pass for Vault-Tec workshop add-ons, basic game, more logical, and real weapons and ammunition. Okay, there's a lot of links there just to different stuff. Adds basically a bunch of more realistic and real weapons and ammunition. Cambridge Red Rocket. This mod adds a workshop to the Cambridge Red Rocket to make it a fully functional settlement. Again, if you don't want to download all these mods for various settlements, you can just use that other one where you can make a settlement wherever you want. It's one mod instead of several that you'd get for different settlements, and then you can make your own. Alright, scrap that settlement. Extras, living and dead. I have got the other version of this one. This requires the DLC for pretty much everything. There is a combined scrap that settlement mod, which basically encompasses all the various different mods that are in there. So you don't necessarily need to have every single one. There is one which I'm hoping I might come across at some point, which has everything in it at once. This is just an extension of that without the DLC. Among Junkies Commonwealth. Okay, this mod adds a perk, Wild Wasteland. Wasteland, yeah. Okay, in the Commonwealth, will not be bored. My friends mod like press. Okay, don't know right why. Okie dokie. 404 Automatron Edition, 3-4, sorry, Automatron Edition, Woman Edit. Nice, full of positive comments, never expected that, haha. Anyway, this mod make most of the women in the game taller. Some are taller than others. The female children are included. I mess around with this mod a lot, so feel free to keep the version you want. Thanks again, I made this mod. Okay. God help us. Please let the Creation Club come soon, because some of these mods are absolutely atrocious. Syringer rebalanced, minigun rebalance, receivers and okay, just a bunch of tweaks. 344 for Harbor Edition, the Nuka World Edition. Zimoja Stair fix. This is what I'm thinking of, probably just let you. Yeah, the stairs at Zimoja Outpost bothered me because you could not interact with them in the workshop. This mod fixes that by replacing them with the stairs in the workshop. Okay, you know, you could just download, scrap that settlement, and you can actually take out the stairs anyway. Euphoria, okay. This one, if you want more realistic body movement, say when you shoot a character, so if you were to shoot a character in the head, and providing the head didn't explode, if you had that perk on or anything like that, then the character would actually drop with more realistic body movement instead of flying off into the distance. No strings attached. We all know major pain is gathering ammo for the paddle ball, okay, from Nuka World. And also, what sense does a paddle ball make that needs a string after just using it once? So now the paddle ball no longer uses any ammo. Okay, I must admit that's one thing I've never come across. Build your old Commonwealth. Requires a thing for Wasteland Workshop. I started this mod a while back to repair the castle. I'm glad to say it's finally finished. Always felt that there was never the right stuff to properly bring the castle back to its form of glory. Okay, you should check my gameplay through, because I've managed to more or less get the castle back to its form of glory, and I plan to keep on improving that as well. In fact, as you can see from that picture now, where he's fixed the wall, guaranteed that my wall doesn't match the outer mesh. It's used more using the concrete blocks. But what I plan to do with my castle is, where you've got these walls here, I plan to build up on top of that as well, and build it into as high a castle wall as I can, matching all the curves and the walls around. But that'll be coming up in a future video. Voltec guard posts, trench lines, electromagnetic chemical railgun. Okay, that seems interesting. 200 years ago, pre-war, the US military was doing research to equip infantry with an electromagnetic induction gun. Okay, we'll add 3 new weapons using resources in the original game. It's a military gun, handheld rifle, assault rifle, 10mm pistol, upgraded to railgun with pre-war technology. New weapons can be found in the following places: Federal Surveillance Center, Mass Fusion Building, and Vault 111. Also, if you have a high capability, you will be able to modding existing weapons into railguns. Railgun are very powerful because they use the scarce 2mm EC. You will choose how to shoot. Okay. Safer big leagues, no sweep attacks. No idea, that looks like the same one for that one, but the code for it. UCO contraptions for the workshop, UCO Nuka World add-ons, UCO Far Harbor add-ons. If you are looking for other textures, but by the way, these ones usually are pretty good. Automatron add-ons, survival multipliers, very hard damage. Sets outgoing player damage in survival to 0.5 times and keeps incoming enemy damage the same. You will be dealing the same damage as very hard difficulty, but enemies will retain the damage from survival default. Okay. This only affects survival difficulty. A Dark Tower mod, the first. Okay. Old mod, more logical and real weapons. Sarcastic Dragon snarky loading screens. This is similar to something that is always featured on Skyrim as well. For every loading screen you have, it changes the text that you would see to something a bit more funny and enjoyable, and by the definition, sarcastic. Realistic insects health. Don't know what that one is. 10 Pines Bluff. Okay. This mod makes the shack at 10 Pines Bluff. I think it's annoying trying to build around that shack in the middle. It is now able to be scrapped. I don't know if it will work on PlayStation 4, but it is added. Okay, will be an idea to test these mods before you upload them. Otherwise, you're not going to get a lot of comments and likes. Restored content, exotic enemies. Keep radiance in the Commonwealth. Okay. Requires a DLC for Automatron, Far Harbor, and Nuka World. This mod intends to keep all Radiant quests assigned with the Commonwealth in the Commonwealth. This means that Scribe Halo won't be sending you to Far Harbor to retrieve the elusive Boogatron device, and Mrs. Timms won't be sending you to Nuka World to clear out the raiders. Good. Okay, I'm actually going to add this one to mine because I'm sick and tired of getting sent to Nuka World before I actually want to go to Nuka World, just to get one item out of one area, and starting all that quest line when I wanted to do that at the very end, once, spoiler alert, once you've killed Sean basically, or betrayed Sean, or worked for Sean, depending on what storyline thread you decided to follow, or become the leader of the Institute. Not that I'd ever done anything like that on any playthrough. Charles Overhaul, PlayStation 4. Going back to that one though, yes, I was the Overhaul. I was the Overseer, Dictator, Grandmaster, Overseer, Charge, Adolf Hitler, Zeke Heil, yeah. I basically was the ultimate evil on one of my other playthroughs. And moving on. But come on, before I get any hate off that, it is fun. Anybody who plays these games, you do tend to make more than one character, and one character you be the complete savior of whatever storyline you're actually playing, and then the other character you just be a complete and utter dick all the time. So yeah, okay. Charles Overhaul for PlayStation 4. 344 fixes and additions. Notice how I'm moving on very quick. Workshop Decorations Pack. Root Cellar Supplies mod. Lone Wanderer's Secret Stash. Been over that before. Or you can carry unlimited weight. I have got one similar to that, so you don't really need that one. Any mod, any weapon. Overgrowth Immersive Living. Welcome to Fallon's. Okay, what's this one? It requires every DLC basically. This mod is an immersive, lore-friendly overhaul to Fallon's basement in Diamond City. Note, if you have got the Diamond City overhaul, this one probably won't work, as I found with a few of my Diamond City improvements. Features new foundation to walk on, no more chunks of concrete to trip over, new shelves, racks, counters, and displays. Basically, an overhaul to Fallon's workshop, Fallon's store, which, to be honest, most people tend to miss because it is pretty much off to the side. And unless you're one of the people who goes around and explores every nook and cranny of the city, can't believe I just said nook and cranny. But if you are one of these people that explores the entire city, you do miss it sometimes. Scrap that's Commonwealth base game. Dominic's Doomsday Pack. Legendary difficulty. CVO DLC Clearview Nights. CVO Clearview Nights again for non DLC. CVO Blackout Nights. These basically just make your sky darker. Pre-walled settlements. This one I have got myself, so I will open up and talk and promote this one yet again. Basically, this one it works better on a new game save, but it is not essential. This is one mod that I added after I'd already started. Unfortunately, it didn't include Sanctuary. I had to do that one myself, but you can get his other mod which will do Sanctuary for you. I don't know if that would require a new computer game save. Unfortunately, I'm just going off what I've had, what I've actually had myself. The one you can see there is for the farm. That one obviously is for Zimoja Outpost. Every settlement that you come up to, more often than not, will only have one door. There are a couple settlement exceptions there which have had a door put like at either side if it's on the main road. Taffington Boathouse is one of them where you can actually come in one side and you can still go out the other side. There are a couple of them like Abernathy Farm, that one, where the door is only at one side, unfortunately. But unless you've preset your own half stone points to actually spawn in at, yes, I did say Hearthstone, a reference there to World of Warcraft, then you'll pretty much spawn where the door is anyway, unless you approach the place on foot, in which case you have to run all the way around to where the actual entrance has been set. There are doors on every settlement. Sometimes it's the hard door, sometimes it'll just be like a chainmail fence type of doorway. I've never had any problems with it. You can still use Scrap That Settlement and other mods to modify everything inside. The settlement mod won't accidentally delete the walls. They are permanent, so you can't accidentally, whilst you're randomly picking up pieces of grass and trees and everything else, you won't accidentally pick up the wall. So these are very worthwhile, and they do save you a lot of time in trying to perfectly line up with the edge of the settlement so you can get the most amount of space. Some of these settlement walls do go through the red line as well, so if anything it gives you a little bit more space, even though you can't necessarily build right up to the other walls. It's just good for someone if you want to build a barricade around most places. Not every place is actually done. They have come across a couple of places now. Hangman's Alley doesn't have one. You have to put one in it yourself, but as the mod does say further down, he is trying to improve like other places in order to get different ones in there as well. So, okay. I hope that one is something that you'll consider. It does help and save a lot of time. World is Dying Season Patch Pass, the World is Dying Vault Tech Patch, the World is Dying Contraptions Patch, the Vault is Dying Wasteland. Okay, why couldn't they just do all these in one patch? Lakeview Terrace, a new settlement. Go to the Wicked Shipping Fleet Lockup. Southwest of Abernathy Farm. From there you go south down the road and follow it to the west. After a while you'll find the new settlement. The features include a new fully functioning settlement, 3 unique NPCs, a legendary weapon, a beautiful view over the lake. To get the legendary weapon you'll either kill the corresponding NPC or simply swap in the inventory. You can hire new settlers with the recruitment radio beacon, pretty much like every other settlement as well. Nordagenbeek Resort. This one is pretty good, even though if you look at some of the screenshots here, it is obviously from a different version of the game, possibly the Xbox, because I don't think those are the current textures that you can have for some of the stuff. UCO menu patch, UCO cubes, UCO mashups, add-ons, UCO Wasteland Workshop again, GMAS gun, disable God Rays for Far Harbor patch, disable God Rays for Nuka World, disable God Rays altogether, and improves the frames per second, by the way, is the reason why you would want to disable God Rays. Disable Lens Flare for Far Harbor, Nuka World in general. Reduce grass density medium, light. All settlements extended. This basically extends the barricade around all of the settlements. So as you can see from the screenshots right there, the normal green into red foundation line that you can build up to, it extends that right out, so you get a bit more option on what you can scrap and where you can actually build upon. The good one in that I can see right from here is not only Hangman Naui, which has a very poor water source option, unless you put down a patch of soil first and then put your water things on top of it, or you just have 1,000 hand pumps, which is just stupid. But yeah, on this one, as you can see, quite clearly it does expand the settlement build limit area to make it a lot bit better, so you've got more options on what you can build, where you can build, and where you can stick your water purifiers if you want to. And if anyone says stick them up your ass, then I'll just laugh at you. Legendary NPC spawners, and okay, NPC spawners, yeah, okay. This mod does is let you spawn legendary NPCs. Again, unless you necessarily want to take down the NPCs to try and collect the weapons, you can make every weapon that you can get from the legendary NPCs using the legendary modifications mod, which I'll quickly go over because that is the end of the current list. The current ones I've got, as you can see, Scrapbat Settlement All-in-One, Sanctuary Max Crafting Resources, the Bounty Hunter, which constantly respawns the notices for bounty hunting on the Diamond City notice board. I'm currently using scrap leaves, grass leaves and bushes, or something in that order. Basically this lets you scrap some of the things that a normal Scrapbat Settlement mod will not let you actually do. Not everything is scrappable still, but 99% of the stuff is. DC Glory expansion. I basically covered this one in one of my modded gameplays recently. You can actually check that out on the channel. Legendary modifications, this is the one I was just going on about, where you basically make your own modifications for both armor, power armor, weapons, you name it. Pre-walled settlements, as I've just gone over. Rich vendors, it requires for DLC. This basically will give every vendor a lot more money to trade with. Calyx Q2, because obviously why not. Workshop player bed. This one basically makes a bed that only you can sleep in. So if you're sick and tired of making this perfect bedroom that you want your character to actually sleep in like any settlement, you can now drop a bed, and there's not just one choice of bed. There's bunk beds, there's double beds, there's clean beds, dirty beds, there's sleeping bags. There's every type of bed you can think of, including some of the ones that you can't put down normally, and they'll be set to just your character who can actually sleep on them. So no longer will you be building the perfect settlement at Abernathy Farm, go in to find that bloody Blake Abernathy is actually sleeping in your bed and then tell him to get the fuck out. So yeah. No build limits for no DLC. Basically build as much as you want and risk crashing your game, but why not? Nuka hair combos. This basically adds a bunch of different hairstyles. I'm not that impressed with some of them. I did download it to try and get a character hairstyle from a female, which didn't quite turn out quite right, but I've left it on anyway just in case I do change or if there's any updates to it. I've got no build limit again for all DLC. I wasn't too sure if I'd need both, so I just downloaded both anyway and stuck them in the bottom of my load list. This basically will then allow me to build in the settlements that require Nuka World, Far Harbour, and so on. High carry capacity. This one, if you're going to start a new game, is essential. You don't need any carry rings or anything like that. You can just basically carry uh, everything you want to pick up. You can pick up, and you're never going to max it out. Because by the time you go to that point where you're going to max it out, you will hopefully have reached some kind of a vendor who you can actually sell all your shit to. Light sword, for anyone who's a bit like me, is a bit of a Star Wars geek. It's as close as you're probably going to get texture wise for the PlayStation 4 to a lightsaber. Brotherhood of Steel uniform, ballistic. If you want the black undergarment that the Brotherhood of Steel wear, which is like a black skin suit, then this will give you one in the Sanctuary cellar. The functioning Nuka Girl rocket suits. I've actually downloaded this one and I haven't been able to go and pick it up yet. As I mentioned before, I'm trying to hold off and go into Nuka World until I absolutely have to. But this basically makes a better version of the suit without the dome helmet and various other different styles that you can also craft as well. Shara 4 out of 4 characters for presets. It basically gives you a bunch of character faces if you want to start off with something that looks a bit better than the vanilla. Choose your own perks. This is another one that I was talking about earlier today. This one basically puts a perk locker outside of Vault 111 with a load of magazines in, which at first when you're looking at them you think it's every magazine that you're going to pick up from the game, but it's basically just a load of issues of a Grognak. But as you read each one, you're getting every perk that you'll need. By perk I mean, and there's no screenshots for it, unfortunately. As you can see on the little screenshot here, with the when you can see all your little Vault Tech figures with all the various stars, this will unlock every one of them stars for you. Some of them you will only get access to though when you have that particular level that corresponds with that. Scrap that settlement, the base game version. I do need to take this off now because I have got the complete version. Preset collection. This basically doesn't need to be on there again anymore because I chose this one instead, so a couple of them I am a bit behind on trying to take them off. So for those people who say, if you're still watching this right now, Z14, not that I'm singling you out or anything, so for people who say that I don't actually showcase any of my mods, I showcase my mods all the time. Unfortunately, a lot of the mods I showcase are ones that would be unseeable unless I specifically pointed them out. The DC Glory one is one that you can see quite a lot in my videos. The Bounty Hunter one I've just started using quite a lot of the time. Sanctuary Max Crafting Resources, by the way, is a Garden of Eden creation kit, a GEC, and there's a suitcase just outside of Sanctuary. You go over, pick it up, and it's got every resource that you can need. You take it back to your settlement builder and it sets you off. Anyway, that's all the mods I've currently got active at the moment. I will be adding more. As you can see, I've got a whole load of favorites on here which I still need to try out, and there's quite a lot of different stuff on there. So anyway, that's all for this week. I will be back next week with one of the special channel update ones. Can't remember where I'm up to at the moment. It's either cheats or clothing or collectibles. It probably is either collectibles or companions, which is next week. I'll update that some other time. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, and I'll see you next week. And if you're looking for the Skyrim, I'll be doing that one next, following by all my other gameplay videos as well. See you later.